As a rock musician, you might think that the only thing rock musicians care about are sex, drugs, and rock and roll. We hear that all the time in the newspaper and the radio and TV and stuff. Because when I stay home and play Monopoly with my wife and kids, that doesn't make the news. But if I were out drinking with Madonna, that'd be on the news. But there are plenty of reasons not to use drugs. And we've known some rock musicians that have. That's absolutely true. In fact, I've been in the band Boston for 10 years now. Before that, I played with a guy named Sammy Hagar. And Sammy's first guitar player died by shooting cocaine in the bathroom of a gas station. So he called me up and said, "Hey, Pihl, you into drugs?" I said, "Well, no, why?" He said, "Well, why don't you come down and jam with us then? We need somebody." And so I stayed with him for about 8 years in his band. And then he went on to join Van Halen, and I joined Boston. In fact, that's how I got to know the guys in Boston. We did shows together. So it certainly helped my career not to use drugs. Again, we've known some other guys that have gone through that pain and misery. And none of the guys that I've ever talked to have ever said, "Gee, I sure had a good time doing drugs. I'm glad I spent all that money doing that." No, they always say, "Oh, man, I wasted years. I ruined some great friendships, and I wasted a lot of money doing that." Even just the same with cigarettes. I bet some of you folks know people that smoke cigarettes. Nobody ever says, "I really feel great when I'm smoking." They're usually coughing and they say, "Gosh, I wish I could quit this, but I just don't know how." Of course, they're finding out now that nicotine is another addictive drug. So it's not that these people can't, it's a very addictive thing, and they try to quit. So again, nobody says, "Oh, I just love smoking. And gee, you kids, when you get older, I hope you smoke too, because it's such a great thing. Makes me feel great." Well, yeah, nobody talks like that. They're always trying to tell you it's a terrible thing, but it's an awfully hard thing to quit. Brad and I were lucky. We never got into drugs. We were never strung out like we've seen some musicians or other people, doctors, lawyers, anybody from any walk of life that are around drugs that can be available to it. And again, it's around us all the time. So again, we were lucky that we never got started. I wish we would have had the DARE program when we were younger so that we'd learn about the ways to say no. For us, it was just a matter of, we just don't do it. And this is the time when you folks need to make decisions for yourselves. It's your life. What are you going to do with it? And here's one decision that you've probably already made. I'm sure a lot of you kids have been in a grocery store, and you're at the checkout counter, and maybe the cashier has to go away or turn her head or something. You could take that candy bar that's by that rack, sitting right there, put it in your pocket. Nobody'd ever know the difference. Probably they wouldn't even care. What's one more candy bar? But you don't do it. You make that decision. You say, "I'm not a thief. I don't steal." It's the same thing with anything in your life. You folks have to make the decision, say, "That's the kind of person I am. I don't do drugs." Again, that's how we did it. People say, hey, you want to do some cocaine? Here, it's free. Here. And we say, "Well, no thanks. I don't do it." So it's, again, you folks are coming to the age where you'll make your own decisions. Again, I know Officer Winchell and the other folks have given you some of the reasons of how to avoid peer pressure and how to avoid those situations. And the other aspect is why. Again, why not? One good reason is, well, gee, if my mom caught me smoking cigarettes, she'd kill me. Well, that's a good reason. But you folks are getting older. Pretty soon you're going to be adults. In fact, if any of you folks are Jewish out there, when you get to be 13 or so, you can go to your bar mitzvah or bat mitzvah, and that signifies that you are an adult. So in some religions, in some beliefs, you're very close to being adults. And again, you're not always going to be away from around your folks. Another good reason is if you're into sports, you don't want to be doing anything that's going to be slowing you down. You want to be the best basketball player ever. You don't want to do something that's going to make you groggy and uncoordinated. So there are plenty of reasons not to do drugs. But certainly, please don't do them if you think that all rock musicians do, because we definitely don't. Thank you.